Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, or Chawadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and I was listening to Elder Malcolm's video a little bit ago, and in that video, he mentioned this TikTok. And I'd actually found this yesterday and sent it to myself and was planning on doing a lesson on it today. But hearing him mention it sparked me to go ahead and get this lesson done. And so what you see there is, as it says at the top, Mary and Jesus' procession in Europe. And we know his name is not Jesus. It is Yahweh Shai. The J is the newest letter in the English alphabet, and it's just a little over 400 years old, which means his name could not have possibly been Jesus. And this picture is also showing Queen of Heaven worship. Yes, it shows, or as what they like to think is Mary and sweet baby Jesus, as they would say. But it's this imagery is really going back to Semiramis and Tammuz. It's Queen of Heaven worship that they mixed into the Bible and the biblical doctrine. But that stuff's off. But nonetheless, these people in this procession really believe that that's Mary and so-called Jesus. But the point being here, they believe that, and these people in this picture have dark skin, and that's actually biblical, because the biblical Israelites were dark skinned, both the northern and the southern kingdom. But Esau being Esau and trying to control everything and trying to put himself in everyone else's place, he has covered over these pictures with what they call iconoclasm or whitewashing, and he's made himself take on the image of the Son of the Most High, Yahweh Shai. And that's just off. It's wrong. It's blasphemy, which should help you understand that the Edomites cannot be saved. This is unforgivable. No, the Lord does not forgive everything. But, it's messed up. It shows they know too. And this also shows Esau being exposed. And he's going to be shamed for this. And this is just the beginning. He's going to become all the way exposed, all the way shamed. Everyone's going to know that these are, in fact, Edomites. And especially once we're in the kingdom. And they're going to see that the Lord really does hate them. And so, getting into the book, this is Job 9:24, complete classic. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked being the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white people. And this includes the small hatters, those big nose, small hat 1948ers. They are not the ancient Israelites. They have nothing to do with the ancient Israelites. And Judeo-Christianity is a part of why we now have all these images of Edomites rather than of so-called Negroes. And it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And so they are currently in charge. In 2nd Esdras, it says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. They are running this world, and they're running it wickedly. And if they've polluted everything, they've changed all of the Lord's creation, and they have a huge judgment to pay for that. Moving on, it says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. And this dark skin images, that's what the Israelites originally or have always looked like. We have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, so we're going to come back looking like some of the other, or like the other nations. But the Israelites, as described in the Bible, are a dark-skinned people. And the Edomites have covered over that. A great example of them doing this in the past is in First Maccabees, the third chapter. And it talks about how once the Greeks, taken over Israel, how they went into the temple and painted their faces over, they set their likeness there over the images that were already there. And this is something they do. They conquer an area and they call themselves after that area, take on the customs of the people that were there, and they end up setting themselves up above them all and paint themselves into history and into the whichever religion, because they did this with the Greeks and Zeus and the whole pantheon of Olympians. They did this with the Egyptians, painted themselves in. They do it with the Elamites, because they call themselves Aryans, and that goes into Elam, and they've done it with us. And the Bible even tells you about it in First Maccabees. But yeah, he covered the faces of the judges thereof, iconoclasm, or whitewashing. It says, if not, where and who is he? Who else has done this? Who else has pushed around the Messiah with their image on it? It's a riddle, and it's a very simple one. What image have you seen? And it's these self-proclaimed white people, which biblically they are not white, they're red, because the skin shows forth through their skin. They're red. And we're going to have some people, some Israelites, that look like them, but for the most part, that race of people are the Edomites. And moving on, we're going to go to Job, same book, chapter 30 and verse 30. It says, my skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat. Job, although not an ancient Israelite, it seems like he might have been a contemporary with Abraham. And you can see in the back of, at the end of this book of Job, it tells you about the time that he lived. And during Abraham's time, people were living longer. So that's my reason for saying that. I'm not saying that's gospel or anything, because even the scholars disagree on which time period Job was in, which, if he's a contemporary of Abraham, that would make him not an Israelite. But Job being righteous, he would be in the reincarnation born back into Israel. He will be in the kingdom as an Israelite. But he is telling you that he said, my skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat. What Edomite turns black when they're sunburned? They turn extremely red. That's where you get the term redneck. They can't turn black. They don't have melanin. And it's that simple. And throughout this book, it refers to the Israelites as having dark skin. This is the book of Acts. It says, Acts 13 and verse 1. And it says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger. Pause. Because that's going into his skin again. Dark skin. There's no quote-unquote white people that would be called nigger. And Lucius of Cyrene and Manaen, which had been brought up from Herod the Tetrarch, and Saul. And so it's telling you there, he's got a nickname, and And that nickname is referring to the color of his skin. So he must have been very dark. And, this is the New Testament, as most Christians would want me to read from. And it's telling you right there. It tells you in Revelation 1 and, 1 and 7. That his skin was burnt like the color of brass. So dark skin. It's just, we're done with the lies. These are lies of the Edomites, and they are being exposed for these lies. This last one, we're going to go here to the Song of Solomon. Chapter 1, verse 5. It says, I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. And Kedar was a son of Ishmael, and his name was that because of how dark-skinned he is. And Solomon is referring to himself as being that same dark-skinned. No, this is not the Shulamite daughter or bride. This is talking about Solomon. This is poetry. And he's referring to himself as being black and beautiful. And this word here for black, it's Strong's H 7838, Shahar, or Shakar, Salakia. And it says black, dusky. You hear Jake say, and I hear Elder Malcolm say this, but when you hear Jake say, you're dusty behind, they're really trying to say dusky. And this is referring to a skin color. And then it says jetty black. So this is very dark. And then to kick it off, we're going to click on the root of this, of Shakar, and it takes us to Strong's H 7835. And this is the same word that was used in Job 30 and 30. It says to be black of skin. This is through the idea of duskiness of early dawn, to be dim or dark in color, to be black. See down there, it just says skin is black. And so that Songs of Solomon, that is Solomon speaking. He's not a woman. The woman was not speaking. Name any other part of this book that a woman even wrote. So shut up, Esau. You are being exposed and you've been caught, and your judgment is nigh. So Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rcha, Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.